Hello, it's Reuben here, welcoming you to this, the finale of Pace. For those of you who aren't aware, Pace is a show that exists because when we were doing a live stream, a 24-hour live stream, for the conclusion of one of our shows, Deep Impact, the audience donated enough money to unlock Pace as a kind of bonus. I can't remember exactly how much. I think it was maybe $3,500, $3,000, something like that. At this, the final episode of Pace, we thought it was the right time to announce that we're doing that again. There's going to be another live stream at the conclusion of Pale, the current Wildbow Otherverse story that we are covering in our show Pale Reflections. We don't know exactly when that show, when Pale is going to come to an end, but when it does, we will be doing a 25-hour live stream. That's right. This is the official announcement of All Pact Up 2, All Paled Up, Beyond the Pale, or, as you can call it for short, APU2 APU BTP. So, because we don't know exactly when that's going to be, we're still in planning for it, but stay tuned, because you'll be hearing about some of the great segments and great guests that we plan to have on that show. As part of this live stream, we will be doing a bit of a retrospective on Pace as well, so if you have any questions you want to ask me or any of the players, feel free to send those in. Either go in Discord and post them in the Pace channel on the Dwarf Media Discord, or check us out on Twitter at Pale Reflections. Twitter.com/Pale Reflections, I guess. Tweet us questions and we will answer them during this stream. So, yeah, I guess just, again, thanks everyone for donating. Thanks everyone for being a part of the Dwarf Media community, because genuinely and in a very tangible way, this show, Pace, would not exist without our community. And this is maybe my favourite of the shows that we've done. It's really been a treat to put this together for you all. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. And, I guess that means the only thing left to say is previously on Pace.
Those watches everybody has aren't just artificial intelligence. They've got experience embedded in them.
This contract is outlining terms you can agree to from Grey.
Yeah, so I guess we have a decision to make now.
Lily, before I can see you getting ready to talk back to me, and you owe me, alright?
That she has done dirty by Jackson. Thrice.
What's going to happen to the people we name, like Delaney?
What is Grey getting from this contract?
If we put out a thing at every single Grey Link saying, hey, Grey's a dickhead, fuck him, then maybe that'll hurt him? I don't know. I vote Zed Kiel gets it.
Lily's going to be like, go on Zed Kiel. Yeah. Now remember, hospitality. Invite them in, offer them a place to sit. I remember a drink if they need a drink, some food if they need food. Now with nourishment, the phone cables were great, but what you really need to do is ensure that they have a way to plug them in as well, because otherwise it's like giving someone a fork.
Zedkiel opens his wings and with a brief flurry of feathers obstructs your vision, everyone except Lily, whose vision needs no obstruction. And then has resumed his human form as he walks to the door and answers it.
Lily's giving him the double thumbs up from behind.
Looking over, you can all see a man with a kind of driver hat, one of those black kind of flat top driver caps, in a little tuxedo, says, "Welcome. I am here to take you to Grey Tech headquarters."
You can do it, Zedkiel.
And Zedkiel looks back and says, "Would you like to come in for some refreshments?" And the driver says, "No, thank you. We can just leave."
I think that's fine, Zedkiel. Good job.
Are you all... Well, hold on. And he kind of does a quick head count. Okay. I mean, I'm only meant to pick up 6 of you, but I suppose if there's more, that's fine.
Perhaps Zed and Marla, would you prefer to stay here and maybe follow after, or come with?
Marla kind of looks at the door where there's a driver before kind of deciding it probably doesn't matter and saying, if there's a chance we can help, I think I'm gonna take it. I think we should come with. And Zedkiel says, wherever we go, we will die, I suspect. So might as well.
God, who invited me out?
All right, well, shall we... Any kind of motions to a... what looks almost like a limo. The curves, the beautiful beveled edges on this thing. Curves like you've never seen on a transport vehicle.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Can we just like
beautiful
caress the curves? That sounds way grosser now that I've said that.
I'm assuming you're all just getting into the limo?
Yeah, but
Yes.
So is Marla coming with us?
Marla and Zedkiel have decided to come with, yes.
Yeah, good. I'm just like out of character. I think Marla might be important for this all points.
No, I'm sure it's fine.
You all pile into the limo, and the driver says, all right, let's get you to Grey Tech. And he slides the partition up, and the limo starts going.
I'll check if there's a minibar.
There is.
Make myself a gin and tonic.
Yeah,
All right.
a strong milk for Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they have that in the mini bar, right?
They have milk and whatever it is that you mix with it to make it strong. Rum?
I don't know. Let's not open that can of worms.
That's for the fan cocktail creators to come back to us with. So you all travel to Grey Tech headquarters. I'm just going to basically have the driver shepherd you through until you all say, oh no, I want to do this other thing. So feel free to jump in and say when you want to take some action. But it takes about an hour to get there. You all get out, and the driver opens the door for you and says, follow me, I will take you to the room where we can wait until it is time to sign. And he starts shepherding you into one of these buildings. Roman, you recognize, and Marla as well, obviously recognize these buildings as the ones you flew away from not a day ago. Actually, a bit more than a day ago, about a day and a half ago. But you get shepherded in to the ground floor, taken up an elevator for a few levels, and then taken off and put in a waiting room. Kind of like a green room, I suppose you might imagine. It's a waiting room. It's got just like some tables and chairs, almost like a break room, I guess. There's also some TVs around on the walls that are kind of playing different news bulletins and stuff. One of them seems to just be playing kind of a promotional reel of like highlights from around the Grey Tech kind of brand of family of products over the past few weeks. Basically a series of ad spots that have been edited together that are just playing on endless repeat.
Have we been offered refreshments in here?
Can't be stopped.
Not moments after you are sat down, the driver walks out and leaves, and in walks another person.
You're only allowed one angel familiar, Lily. Calm down.
Yes, well,
in walks
the second
another
one is an
person.
angel god, so it's totally different.
In walks another person who has a short kind of notepad with them and says, "Hi all, Grey will be with you shortly. In the meantime, is there anything I can fetch for you?"
Like, anything? Look, someone had to ask.
Well, I was talking about refreshments, stuff like that. But if you let me know what you want, I can tell you if I can make it happen.
Just some water, please.
Mm-hmm.
A tea, thank you. Green.
Water for me too.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? And Marla says, I'll take a water as well. The woman looks at Marla, and for the briefest moments, you see some slight confusion cross over her face before she corrects herself and restores her kind of sweet service smile, and then leaves. 3 waters and a green tea. You hear her muttering to herself as she leaves.
Hey, Mama.
Hi.
Exactly how little do you remember, and from when to where?
As far as I know, the story that I told you before, Roman, is correct. I don't remember any time on Clearwater. I was an engineer working at Greytech. I made some pretty pivotal technology, and after creating it, I tried to, have it shut down, and then I was in that cell for up until 2 days ago.
And you're a practitioner, right?
Yes.
Is it possible you discovered something more that you may not remember anymore? I guess you wouldn't know, but
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
God damn it, Roman just consistently coming in with these great questions that, like, yeah, but we wouldn't know. So
yeah, we have no answers.
The woman comes back in with 3 waters and hands them around, and your green tea, Lily.
Thank
she
you.
places in front of you. She looks around at the TVs that are kind of softly making noise. Would you like me to turn any of those down or anything?
I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. And she walks over and motions to a little kind of panel on the wall next to the door and says, "If there's anything else I can help with, please just hit this button." And then she leaves. Those TVs are just kind of softly murmuring away in the background during the scene. I'll probably edit that in. One of them is the reel, as we said. One of them's playing the news, etc.
I mean, they knew what time we were arriving.
Oh yeah, they're just being kind of rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a power play.
Okay, so I feel like there's 2 things we have to do here. Wait, do we have any way to check we're not being overheard?
I am almost certain that we are being overheard.
Marla speaks up. I would also assume that, I think, is fair. And then you're interrupted. Do 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 do.
Oh, it's the 9 o'clock
Wait,
news.
was that the ABC?
It's 9 o'clock a.m. One of the TVs starts playing a news bulletin. And you guys, Marla is briefly distracted as he watches this news bulletin unfold and kind of forgets to pay attention to the conversation that you all are having. Nothing that interesting. The saga of grey tech workers and their ongoing employment disputes has continued into this extended standoff, and then kind of, you tune it out.
Probably not relevant.
All right. See, the problem is that, like, I kind of just like Zedkiel and Marla to go off and, like, try and do shit while we're here, but, like, just, like, send off the 2 NPCs and the rest of the players just stay put. Is
okay,
like,
yeah, like what I'm thinking. Okay, let's. Can I, like? I know this is a foreign concept at this point. Can I do a roll to like set up silence runes or something?
Sure, let's give it a practice roll.
Like the ones they use in Pale.
Give me a practice roll.
I mean,
I think this is not something you have much experience with, so I'm not going to give you any bonuses to it, and I'm going to make it a relatively difficult check.
Okay. Is anybody else interested in perhaps helping, like Lily, who presumably is a lot better at this than me?
can't see shit. Sorry.
Yeah, but you could tell me how to draw it.
Yeah, so yeah, Lily will help and like get Zedkiel to kind of describe to her a bit if he's doing the runes okay.
Roman takes notes.
Yeah, in fact, surely between the 8 of us, surely somebody here can help me do some fucking silencing runes.
I think part of the problem is that we are also in, like, we're equivalent to like sitting in the fucking waiting room to see the Pope, but even more because we're like fucking in the, in the center of the cathedral to this god, like kind of
fair.
Yeah.
I'm also now just realizing does Jackson even have chalk, or is he using his lumen saber to like scar the floor? Like,
I hope not.
Jackson Jr. speaks up on your wrist. Jackson says, "Perhaps I can help." And with whirring and clicking, assumes the form similar to Alexandra did in previously.
Okay, yeah. Do you know what you're doing?
Well, you can tell me what to do, and I'll draw it.
Well, I rolled a 2.
Okay. With whirs and clicks, Jackson Jr. moves around the floor, drawing runes under your guidance, Jackson. They're not perfect, but you think they might do.
Okay. Well, Since apparently this is all the help I'm getting. It's just,
Hey, look, I said I offered.
yeah. Okay.
I described the right way to draw the runes to Jackson Jr.
Yep, and as far as you can see, Lily, it looks perfect.
Fucking fantastic. Got it.
Marla speaks up and says, "Hey, I was watching that," as the sound from the TV starts to fade away.
Okay, Mara, I'm going to need you to focus because we're trying to do something about that. Now, still a little baffled that we're having this conversation here, but I feel like there's two things we're doing here. We need to shut down all the Grey Links and send out like our all points bulletin. And then I guess we need another crew who's going to go fight Grey? Like,
I pick Team A.
Fight is probably a strong term. Distract, perhaps? Attempt a distraction?
I'm kind of hoping that Team A's plan will weaken Grey to the point where he's manageable.
I hope so too. I can be Team B, I suppose.
I mean, again, we can just sign the contract.
I'm still not wholly against signing the contract, Jackson, but lost my train of thought because my computer screens went black for a moment. The way Grey seeks to obtain and hoard information is, in a way, antithetical to the tenets of Athena, and should be antithetical to all human experience, in my opinion. I don't think that Grey seeks anything good.
Okay, what about... So, are we going to see Grey at 10, or are we going to see him like a couple of minutes beforehand?
That's a question that you don't necessarily have the answer to. But Marla speaks up and says, "Okay, so it's pretty clear that Team A has to be the 6 of you who go and sign the contract. And Grey will be there to also sign the contract. That's the only... I mean, I don't know how else we're going to have a face-to-face with him, which leaves Zedkill and I to go and do something else. Call the Grey Links? I'm not really sure."
Yeah, I mean, fuck, as much as I'd love to have Zedkill in the same room as Grey, if we're going to be against him, like, yeah, it feels like that'll raise suspicion or fuck with us signing the contract. So yeah, I think surely between the two of you, you guys can call all the Grey Links.
And Zedkill says, "It will be a fun way to die."
Wonderful.
Well, that's not the worst attitude, I suppose.
Let's hope
It
it
is
doesn't
now
come to that.
9:45. You're all sitting in the middle here, and you don't realize at first because you have kind of insulated yourself from sound. But you notice there is somebody standing over you. It is the lady who has been kind of attending to you, and she's kind of trying to get your attention, waving on the other side of these runes that you've set up.
I suppose I poke my head outside the runes.
"Hi, it's time to sign."
What's the time according to Jackson Jr.?
9:45.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, well, I guess this is it, gang.
Wait, is your head still outside of the runes while you're saying
No,
that?
sorry. I actually physically moved my head closer to the microphone, but I'm just now realizing you didn't see that.
It's true.
So
I've actually been moving my head in and out of an imaginary diagram in my room.
the 8 of you get up, and Zedkill speaks up and says, "We'll hang back here for a moment before moving on." And the lady kind of looks weirdly and says, "Okay, sure."
Sorry, could we just because we need to figure out what they're doing in this call, right?
The 6 of you are kind of getting gently ushered away. Marla kind of points to a prototype Grey Link on his wrist and says, "Just text me the details. We'll take care of it."
Oh god.
As the 6 of you are ushered away to an elevator.
We need something good and quippy,
I liked your suggestion on Discord.
including the hashtag cancel Grey.
Oh, absolutely.
you are taken
Sorry, just
into an
for the people at home.
Well, we'll get to it. Let's
Okay.
let it unravel. You are all taken into an elevator and taken up to the floor where Gray's offices are, that you briefly saw, or almost saw last session, Reuben. And you step out and step into this beautiful foyer. The lady who was escorting you just beckons for you to go forward, but does not step out of the elevator herself. And you all step forward into this little foyer. In front of you, it's kind of like marble all around, polished, beautiful marble with kind of statues and masks surrounding it. It is unimaginably clean. Like, everything is so meticulously placed. You don't recognize anything, if there is anything, but it looks like it could even be arranged in some way of like halfway between, optimal feng shui and a ritual, but you don't kind of recognize if there is any pattern to its arrangement, what it is. It just, the sheer presence that this room it holds over you is kind of tangible to you. The double doors in front of you open, and standing in front of you is the man that you all recognize as Gabriel Gray. He is in his early 40s. He has kind of salt and pepper hair, Caucasian, wearing a immaculate suit, and he speaks. Welcome, Jackson, Roman, Lily, Jackson Jr., Pentagon, and of course Alexandra. Welcome. And he kind of opens the door to one of the two doors to his office and beckons you inside.
So Jackson is absolutely going to put a hand on his lumen saber.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, his excuse, if this is going to come up, is there is a passive bravery effect that he gets from handling it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's it. That's the excuse he's going to use if questioned on this.
Gray's expression remains fixed in a soft, slight smile.
Yeah. All right.
As you walk into his office, you see a window at the back, a big bay window that looks out over this, over the Gray Tech headquarters compound. You see a number of screens around the walls, as well as a handful of bookshelves all lined with books. There is a chair that Gray sits at, beckoning to the desk, and on the other side of it, 3 chairs and 3 little pedestals. Sitting on the desk is a pen and a leaf of paper that you see is the contract. The copy that you have been holding has gotten worn over and you've kind of circled things on it and stuff like that, and you are thankful that Gray has provided a clean copy. And he reaches out to take the contract copy that you had. Lily, he reaches out to you. I suppose you're the one holding it.
Cool. I don't see him.
All right, retcon. Jackson, you are holding the old copy of this contract, and he reaches out to take it from you.
Fuck, I give it to him?
Yep, and he kind of drops it below the table. You do not hear it touch the ground. And he beckons. Well, it is good to make your acquaintance. Please sit, all of you. Alexandra gives you directions to take a seat, Lily.
Yeah.
Cool. And pop her on the pedestal.
Yep. Do you all sit down?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You all sit
I
down.
mean, he's like a literal god. I mean,
Yeah.
just as a general rule of thumb, I'm probably going to do what he says.
He breathes for a moment. Hopefully the trip was good. How are you all?
Oh. Tired?
All right.
I can imagine. Well, let's put this whole affair behind us, shall we?
Well,
And now,
I mean-
cut to...
Jackson, the table is tall enough that you can kind of send a quick... Actually, Jackson Jr. is sitting on a pedestal in front of you. And Jackson Jr. goes, beep, beep. Oh, Jackson, you've got a message.
Sorry, just 1 second. I assume this is important.
So important.
I will look at what the message is.
There is no message, but there is a notification saying, are we going to tell Marla and Zedkill what to do?
Yeah. So, okay. Here's what I'm picturing now. Ocean's 11 style cutback. So when we were in the Silence Ruins.
Yeah.
And, Kippos, this is mostly your work. Do you want to go over the message that we
Oh, okay.
crafted?
All right. So, So it's it's 100% my work. In theme of this of what's happening, it's definitely 100% my work, and I've never even heard of this Elliot person. So, planning to have the Grey Link say, "We were made by Marla Green. Gabriel Grey steals his ideas from his employees and benefits from their work without producing anything himself. Marla Green has been imprisoned and tortured since before the release of the Grey Link 9. Grey tech is stolen tech. Hashtag cancel Grey. Hashtag 10 a.m. link switch off."
Okay.
And, sorry, I would like them to do the thing that they did to
I
sign
hate you people so much.
as they read this out.
Sure.
I'm so curious.
So you have sent that message to Marla and
One
Zedkill.
last thing. While we're in the cutback, the Ocean's 11 cutback to when we were providing them with this information in a timely manner, I'm going to give Marla the spiritual screwdriver as well to help with doing all of this.
Okay.
Because I haven't really gotten to use it myself, so hopefully Marla can get some use out of it.
You pass the spiritual screwdriver to Marla as well. Let's jump back forward to the present. You send your message telling them what you want them to do. You do not get a response, but you hope that the message has arrived. Grey beckons to the contract in front of you. Before you sign, there's one other matter to be confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
The disclosed parties.
Oh.
Who have you given information to?
Okay, for dramatic effect, could we please have the message go out to everyone now?
The message has gone to... so you don't have a connection to every single Grey Link. In your planning, Marla and Zedkiel are planning to open a call with every Grey Link and distribute that information.
Yes.
Send what you just said to them to everybody. But nothing has happened yet.
But it would be so cool if it happened right when he asked. Okay.
It's fine. It's our...
Can we leave it hanging for a couple of seconds, just in case?
You wait for a few seconds before Grey prompting, who have you given information to?
Well, of course. Could we take the Article A then, please?
Mm-hmm. And he passes you the piece of paper. Alexandra, you hear whirs and clicks from the podium as Alexandra does something. You're not quite sure what, Lily. And you hear her voice say, "Just say the names and I will write them down."
God damn it, I thought she was doing that because it was the thing.
Oh, no.
So I'm racking my memory. You'll have to excuse us for a moment, Mr. Grey.
What? Sorry, can we ask what is going to happen to these disclosed parties? Are you going to cut them a deal like ours, or?
It depends on who the party is. We will have to see.
Could we perhaps help to negotiate on their behalf as we list them out?
You can, but again, it depends on who the party is. So why don't we sign the contract and then we will see where we stand.
Well, we have to fill out this list before we can sign the contract. I think that's part of the arrangement.
And Gray looks up at the clock, which is now displaying that it is 11 minutes until 10 a.m. and says, "Sure, take as much time as you would like," with a clear threat under those words.
Okay, so Jackson just whispers to the other two. Okay, so if those two aren't gonna get it going, Plan B is sign the contract, right?
Well,
So I think we just go along with this, and we just make it take 11 minutes.
pretty sure he can hear you.
No, I whispered.
Fucking hell.
At this, Gray's smile slightly extends.
Oh, fucking... Right, well, in terms of people we informed...
Well, there's Delaney, our boss.
Yeah, so, Alexandra, could you just write down Delaney, Garland?
Hopefully, like, Alexandra's smart enough to write that pretty slowly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then what, like, I mean, I don't remember everything that we've told Delaney, but it's a fair bit, right? So that'll take a while.
Yep.
No, because we can share what we told them, but we don't have to.
Alexandra writes just some very basic descriptive terms of some information that was told, not getting to really any specifics.
Because it never in the contract did it say that we had to share what suppressive information that was disclosed. It's one of those sneaky things, you know. Yeah, so Delaney, now non-public information. I mean, that is pretty difficult.
Time is ticking away, and you see Gray getting slightly agitated as this is happening. We now are at about 4 minutes, and you have just written effectively just Delaney. Out of character, who else are you going to put on this form?
I'm actually thinking right now, I don't think we need to
Mala?
list anybody else. We didn't tell him any non-public information about the workings.
Yeah, well, same as Zedkiel, he more told us
Yeah,
information.
we got told rather than told.
I mean, we did tell him about Clearwater.
But that was...
That's not really related to the suppressed information, right?
Yeah, and it's also non-public information about any work that is or will be carried out by Greytech. It may have been carried out by Greytech, but we don't know. So we don't... Yeah, that's just... Yeah.
So just Delaney?
I think it's genuinely just Delaney. I think that is the only person.
But perhaps as the time continues to tick down and Jackson continues to try and delay, he's just going to ask, like, Gray, like, so what are you getting out of this deal, if I can ask?
I'll tell you that after we sign.
Okay.
Well, that is incredibly ominous.
As a show of good faith, why don't I tell you now?
Okay.
And he looks at the clock and sees there are 4 minutes remaining. There is one problem that plagues us all here, and my goal is to solve that problem. I want to know what the unknown is.
I see.
That's my goal. To stop the spread of this nothingness. Or at least to know it.
I mean, that has nothing to do with any of the things we've been doing, though.
What you've been doing is getting in the way.
Well, I would say that we've just been trying to know things as well.
Yeah, like, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't want to work with you to shut down the unknown. So, like...
And hence, this contract.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, you could work with other people more.
His eyes narrow a bit at that.
Or not, I guess. It's your call, I suppose.
It's time to sign. Enough of this. Let's do it. And he turns to the final page.
Well, Mr. Gray, would you like to go first?
He takes a pen and signs it, before passing it to Alexandra, who signs, Jackson Jr., who signs, Pentagon, who signs, Roman.
Is there in the canon, have we gone over how many middle names I have?
We have not. How many middle names do you have, Roman?
Oh, the last minute delay.
Very clutch. Very clutch.
I'm going to go with 3. That doesn't seem abnormally large, right?
No.
So, Roman, you slowly sign Roman...
Miller, Smithsonian, Roger Field.
We've got to do, like, a spin-off
Mars.
about Roman's parents.
Roman, you've signed. Lily, it goes to you next.
I'm not sure how competent I will be at signing this. I may be unable to, how I am at the moment.
Gray speaks up. He asks, may I take your hand?
Well, you asked
If-
for it, Kippos.
If it is in the interests of assisting me with signing this document and nothing more, then yes. Otherwise, no.
He says, indeed. He reaches and lifts up your hand and kind of places the pen in your hand before putting it down on the paper and saying, a simple X should suffice.
Lily is going to attempt to sign her name
Okay.
rather than just putting
Lily.
an X.
Why don't you roll a artistry check for me, Lily?
Fucking A. Just goes all over the page and we have to get a new fucking document. Oh, that's not great. I don't think I have any points in artistry. I think that comes out as a -1. Whoa. What a roll.
You see, everyone else, sees Lily very messily writing her name on this paper, not staying above the signature line at all. And Roman and Jackson, Gray's usually very controlled demeanor, this is the most upset that you have seen him get, is when Lily's signature is just such a disgusting mess. But he recomposes himself, says, thank you, Lily, takes the pen from your hand and the paper and passes it to Jackson with 2 minutes left before 10 a.m.
Can I do some kind of roll or anything? The lack of news we're getting from Marla and ZKL is killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just grab Jackson Jr. and shit? Okay. I mean, is there anything I can do? Like, this is out of character. There's not.
You tell
right?
me, Jackson. What would you like to do?
I mean, I don't think there's anything Jackson can reasonably do except sign it. Like, unless I don't think he's bold enough to quickly call Marla, and that's the only other thing I can think of.
I mean, if Jackson wants to.
You could.
Just can he nudge Jackson Jr., like kick the pedestal that Jackson Jr.'s on?
Yeah, Jackson Jr. says, "Oh, I'm getting another message. It's very important."
Oh, I'm sorry. This will just be a second.
And Gray nods. Well, you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot a quick message to Marla and just say go 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 go.
Jackson, as you type this message, or you kind of dictate this message to Jackson Jr. quietly, who sends it and almost immediately displays a notification onto the screen that says, I can't get through. I don't know what it is. I'm not able to connect.
Fuck.
Jackson, can I have you roll a wits check?
Hey, that's one of the things I can do. Yes. Oh fuck yeah! That's a 7.
Jesus.
You are kind of surprised by this response coming back from Jackson Jr. Your message went through before. You know it did when you messaged instructions. So something has changed since then and now. And looking around this room, you see the closed doors behind you. What you thought might have just been a pattern in the grain before, you see now. Runes etched in the doors. And now that you're looking for them, you can see them all around Gray's headquarters, his office around you.
Fuck. So, is there a chance it's already gone out and we just missed it because we're in this room?
Maybe.
That wasn't a rhetorical question, Reuben.
Are you saying that out loud? Who are you asking?
I'm
you asking me, the GM?
Yeah, I was asking you, Reuben.
It seems that
like,
Jackson
I guess
Jr.
I could do a practice roll or something, but like
with your wits roll, I think I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
It seems that Jackson Jr., Pentagon, and Alexandra are not connected to the network of Greylinks right now. So possibly, you don't know.
Oh, fuck me.
On the walls around you are a number of TV screens playing news bulletins. They haven't really changed. So you would suspect that if there was some big world-shattering event that had happened, it might show up there. You don't see it yet.
Are you going to mention that out loud, by the way, Jackson? That we're blocked off?
Yeah, I think I will. I'll just say like, oh, sorry, I'm having trouble with my signal. I think there's something on the door.
Well, you can leave. I mean, I'd like to sign the contract.
No, This just seems a bit rude, really.
Unhospitable.
Okay. Okay. Here's the question. So is the signal to the network just completely blocked, or is it scrambled?
Blocked.
Okay, damn it.
Gray looks at the clock. There's 1 minute left and says, "You all understand we have a minute left to sign this contract before there are no further protections afforded to you. Let me level with you. The reason that you are here right now," and he pulls out a piece of paper, which is the disclosure, Appendix A, the disclosure form where you disclose the information that you've given to other parties, is because of this single piece of paper, which I already have from you. I think it's in your best interest to sign this contract.
I just need to quickly open that door a smidge and get a message, because it's actually going to affect that list right there, depending on what we might have missed since we've been locked in this room. Jackson's just going to quickly stand up and open the door a bit.
It's locked.
Okay. I'm going to lumen saber it.
I vowed no obstruction would prevent you from signing this contract. And it won't. All right, roll a practice roll for me.
This escalated very quickly.
Oh boy, that's a flat 0.
Your lumen saber cuts into this wood, and you kind of see through the wood to what is not the marble foyer that you left, but is a bright. It actually looks kind of similar. You see what looks like marble, but it just kind of looks slightly different. Before a glow from outside of the room kind of bursts in, and you are hit effectively by a bright beam of light that washes over your face. Doesn't hurt you, but it kind of temporarily makes you turn away, and when you turn back, the door is repaired.
Did anything get out in the meantime?
No.
Lily's gonna try something here.
The second hand on this clock is ticking down.
Yeah. So she's going to kind of declare that.
Sorry, Reuben, can you let me know when there's about 10 seconds left?
Yeah.
Blocking the flow of information flows directly against the tenets of Athena. I cannot abide by this, Grey. And she's gonna like cross her arms like across each other, and then like scratch at her at her wrists and try and get a bit of blood, one gouge down each wrist, and like try and flick that in the direction of Jackson and say yeah,
Jesus, what?
By my blood, be empowered by Athena to break these suppressive guards against the free flow of information.
Why don't you roll I guess we'll call it a practice roll, Lily. While you're doing that, Gray says, "I vowed no physical harm and no obstruction would come to you. You 6 came here to sign this contract. You have entered into my domain with that express purpose, and it shall come to pass."
Okay.
How did you roll, Lily?
Sorry, I got a 5.
Okay, wow, pretty good. Jackson, Lily has flung blood at you.
Thank you.
Free blood, woohoo!
So I suppose you want me to do some sort of... Yeah, my goal is to just, I think, have a crack at the door again. And as I'm doing this, get Jackson to just blast out a go signal to Marla.
Why don't you roll, practice again, and I'm going to adjust the effect you need. Gray is going to contest it, but you'll get it'll be easier because of Lily's blood rituals, I guess.
Hold on, Roman.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Could you? Yeah, I think the one thing that bothered Gray in this entire conversation is when Lily was like messy and kind of fucked up, like some of his documents. I think try and go a little buck wild. I don't know. Just like shit on the desk, whatever.
Come on, Kippos. Trying to keep this highbrow.
I assumed you meant messing up the contract.
Fuck, mess anything up, I reckon. The shit on the contract, why not?
There's a bunch of things on the table, I assume. Can I just start, like...
There's actually just the pen and the contract, but there are things around the walls. Like, there's TVs, there's bookshelves.
Yeah, can I just, like, knock things over to distract him?
Are you just going to get up and kind of rip down books from the bookshelves?
Look. Jackson just, like, tore a hole in the door. I think, like, the way back is pretty...
Yeah, that's a fair point. Jackson's lumen sabering the door. I don't think it's that buckle that Reuben just starts throwing books.
Like, yeah.
It's about tantrumy on part.
Reuben, can you roll Brawl for me? Jackson, I'm going to get you to roll Brawl as well, actually. Lily, you got a 5 on your practice roll, is that correct?
Yeah. I could invoke Athena for it, but if I invoke Athena and spend my karma to do that, it would be an 8. But I don't know if I can do that because it's a bit questionable, so I didn't.
I think I'm not going to allow that, yes.
That's
but a 5 is still obviously quite good.
I got a 0.
Okay.
God damn it.
You said this was Brawl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a -1.
Fuck.
I'm also going to get you to roll another wits check for me.
Me?
Yep.
4.
Okay. Here's what happens. Roman, you jump up and start ripping books off of these bookshelves, and you see Gray's face turn from a smile to a scowl. White runes on these books, on the bookshelves all around you, start to glow and flare up, and these books that you've pulled off the bookshelves, Roman, just start flying back into the bookshelves, and you feel the chair that you were sitting on, Roman, come to life and lurch towards you and basically grab you, wrapping you up in the gnarled wood of it and pulling you down to the floor where you just are kind of pressed into the ground helplessly, unable to move.
My arm can't reach any books.
This chair takes your arms and bends them behind your back, breaking them both.
What?
Rough.
And you scream out as you are kind of pulled to the ground with your arms broken. The books take their place again, and this wooden chair climbs back to where it was sitting, pulling you back into position, sitting on it with your arms just kind of limply resting, unmoving on the armrests of this chair, as Gray says to you, "I vowed no physical harm would come to you until you had signed the contract." But he is distracted by this. And Jackson, you take another go at...
Also, I haven't signed the contract yet. I'm the one who hasn't.
You
right?
are the one who hasn't. And actually, I think it's worth saying that as Lily is kind of giving orders to you, Roman, to do this, Lily, your chair also comes to life and wraps its wooden hands around your mouth, preventing you from talking.
Wow. Rude.
And just kind of holds you in place. Jackson, you take your lumen saber and cut it into the door again. Gray is distracted, and your lumen saber cuts harsher without his direct attention. You send this go signal out. Jackson Jr. sends out the message. It goes out. Jackson Jr. is connected momentarily, and it goes out before you are gently and without causing any harm to you, Jackson, pulled back by your chair, which sits you down, places your hand in front of the contract, and holds it there. There is 10 seconds left.
So, you just said that us coming into this room to sign this document will happen. You stated that pretty clearly.
There is no response from Gray.
God, how much time do we have left?
5 seconds.
Okay. So, okay, well, I'm thinking if I don't sign this, you're still gonna have to protect me, or otherwise, you will have been wrong. So I'm gonna drop the pen.
As you drop the pen, the room around you flashes white. Roman and Lily, you feel a kind of searing heat against your flesh. Jackson, the room flashes white, and similar to when you had cut through the door twice, you expect this to be a kind of brief effect, but it stays. Blinding white light is all around you, and you and Gray and the table are now standing in this white void with the contract and the pen in front of you. And Gray says to you, if anything happens to me, not only will we miss our chance to know what this thing is that is coming for us, you will die. If I lose my power now, Jackson, you will die.
Fuck me.
You look down, Jackson, at the pen that you had dropped. It is still falling, very slowly, through the air to the table below.
I mean, where are Lily and Roman right now?
Jackson points down at the contract, and under the clauses for de-escalation, which determine the terms for agreeing to suspend activities that will cause harm to the group, etc., you see a new clause appear, 5.1.7.
It was covered in whiteout the whole time. None of us.
I actually was thinking about having a clause that was just in white text, but I thought that was too stupid. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, should I do this? No, that's just too stupid to be a key point. Gray beckons down to the contract in the section under de-escalation, which are the terms around what Gray and Greytech agree to. You see before your eyes a new clause appears, Jackson, in real time, which says, any harm caused by Gray to the Six in the hour before the signing of this contract will be undone immediately upon this contract being signed. And Gray looks to you and says, it is time.
Okay, I mean, I think you're wrong about being the only person who can know the unknown or any of that shit, but...
All you humans are the same. You think you are weak without something to corral you, to guide you, to shepherd what you are doing. You have flashes and moments of brilliance, but without somebody to unify it, it is worthless.
I mean, yeah, but you don't have to do that alone. I mean, form, a council or something, my dude. Anyway, I mean, okay. Yeah, I mean, with Lily and Roman on the hook, and with Jackson knowing he's probably going to die if he doesn't sign this contract, fuck it. I'm going to have to sign it.
Reaching down, you take the pen as it falls out of midair and sign your name on the contract. Roman, this bright flash of light, which had started in the room, fades, and you see Jackson has signed the contract. As the seconds tick down to 10 a.m., 3, 2, 1, and Grace stands and raises his arms. It is time. I have the power. I can do it. I have the power. Nothing can stop me. And he looks, and you see his eyes glow white, a white that spreads over the entirety of his body as he starts to glow.
Can we, do we have network again?
You do.
Cool. Alexandra, quickly check Militia and the White Hat section of the of the Grey Tech website.
Sorry, the what section?
The White Hat section for bug posting.
For bug posting?
Yeah, for bug bounties.
Right. Okay. So
does that exist?
Sure. But as this happens, you all start to notice something else, which is the 3 grey links start to whir and click and transform in front of your eyes. And the message comes through on Pentagon, Jackson G and Alexandra. They all get this message. Gray is so focused on this world of his own that he seems to be not paying attention, though. But as you look, you see the TVs in this room are changing. One of them has been interrupted with a special news bulletin that is flashes up a picture of Marla with the words "Greytech Sentient AI Creator?" ? You can't hear because Gray by this point has started chanting and screaming effectively, yelling, and he rises. He's kind of floating in place before he smashes out the big bay window at the back of this office and starts floating in the air. You hear him yelling,
"Reveal yourself to me. What are you? I have the power Nothing is more powerful than me.
And the white glow that has spread over his eyes consumes his entire body at this point. And he just keeps repeating that line.
Nothing is more powerful than me. Nothing.
Nothing! And a seed of black appears in both of his eyes before he contorts horrifically. You see Grey contort, and the white glow around him that has been almost blinding you stops almost instantly. His eyes black as he hangs there for a moment. And then smoke and fire bursts forth from his eyes. Blood splashes across the gap into this window onto you, an unholy amount, as he drops to the floor. The 44 floors, I think it is, to the ground below. Still murmuring nothing as he falls. And as that noise dies down, you look to the TV screens around you one more time, and this news report that had been describing the conflict, the workers' rights conflict that had been happening for the entirety of the past 3 months, finally is resolved. Finally, the contractors at Grey Tech, who had been asking to be recognized as actual employees, it seems the company has given in to their demands.
Oh, that's nice coincident timing.
Nice timing. You stand in front of the broken window and hear a crunch float up to this window as you look down and see Grey's broken body on the floor down below.
So, Alexandra, you said there was a bug bounties section of the website?
Yeah? Sorry? Yes?
Yeah, they're still posted, right? There's still bounties for bugs.
I suppose.
Well, sorry, can we please be very specific here? Was that a yes?
What? Yes, there's a form where you can submit bugs. Is this really important?
And it is explicitly bounties, right?
Yes.
Cool. Grey, I name you forsworn by section 5.1.3. All bounties set forth by Grey and or Grey Tech were to be suspended permanently and immediately upon the signing of the document. Listen, I had to get my loophole in.
Fair enough. The building that you're in shakes a bit.
Ooh, that might have been a step too far.
And looking down again, where Grey's humanoid body was, instead is just fire. Bright blue and white fire is spreading across this area, and fire alarms start to go off inside the building. And you start to see some employees who had stepped out to see what is going on start to panic and rush to the employee car park. It's just called the car park.
The space car park.
Sure, space car park.
Or the space car park.
You see the doors that to this office kind of swing open gently, almost as if they had become unlocked. And in the foyer, a fire sprinkler system turns on, but there is not one in this office. And you feel this building is starting to shake as employees start to rush out of the fire stairs at the bottom.
This is just like Operator of Time.
Sorry. People start to rush out of the fire steps at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Zedkiel, if you're able to hear me right now, could probably use a hand. Please?
Yeah, we got to call Marla.
I guess at this big bay window that you're standing next to, an owl flies up, Zedkiel. Marla is not with him, and Zedkiel says, "Are we going to die?"
Well, let's try not to, shall we? Could you give us a bit of help getting back to Triumph before everything here collapses? Please.
And taking the Grey Links, Jackson guiding Lily, you go over to Zedkiel, who lands inside the room. and breathes in and smiles as he looks around this room that is now starting to fall apart as the books fall from the bookshelves once more.
And I'm like, haha. I take an extra book and throw it on the ground.
And you, Zedkiel kind of brushes his wing along the broken glass at the base of this bay window, and kind of rainbow ichor kind of pours out of him, forming a loose bridge which kind of extends out the window into the void of air, many meters above the ground. And he beckons for you to go through. And as you get slightly confused what he is implying, you see Marla in the ship that you used to get here kind of pull up alongside this bay window, opening the door to allow you to get in from this kind of rainbow bridge.
All right.
This really begs the question, why didn't they take the owls to the office?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. Such a great reference. And I think that's where we're going to end.
Oh, we can't end on that.
On that terrible Lord of the Rings joke. You all step onto Zedkiel's Rainbow Bridge and step onto this ship that Marla has brought. And Zedkiel follows, flying in his owl form, as this bridge kind of fades away behind you. And Marla starts the journey back to Triumph. This episode of Pace was produced from the donations of the Duff Media community. If you want to become a donor yourself, head to patreon.com/Duff Media. Thanks to our players, Elliot, Kippos, and Linus. And of course, thanks to Wildbow, who created the Otherverse setting on which Pace is based. You can support him at patreon.com/Wildbow. And one final time, thanks to all of you for listening. It has been a blast.